In a matter of seconds, the atmosphere shifted from the usual buzz to an almost eerie silence. No one was prepared. No one expected it. And right at that moment, two names who had always been paired together, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, did something that instantly shook the entertainment world. It all started at a major media event that should have proceeded as usual. The stars were present, smiling, waving, answering the expected questions. But when these two figures stood on the same stage, the atmosphere felt different. Tense, but also full of unspoken anticipation. Fans had long awaited a moment like this. Ever since the big project that brought them together, their respective journeys seemed to have taken different paths. They were rarely seen together, rarely spoke about each other openly. That's why their mere presence in the same frame was enough to send the internet into a frenzy. But what happened that night was far more than just a casual encounter. As the microphone changed hands, expressions changed, voice tones deepened, and the words that came out weren't formal, pre-prepared answers. One of them began with a simple confession about the journey, about the passing of time, about memories that never truly fade. The sentence might sound ordinary to some, but for those who have followed every step of their careers, it was like opening a tightly closed page. The audience began to feel something. There was a ripple of emotion that was hard to describe. The camera captured honest, unfiltered expressions. A faint smile, a look that spoke louder than words, and the pauses between sentences that felt so meaningful. Then the confession evolved. It wasn't just about the past, but also about how they influenced each other, how their shared experiences have shaped who they are today. There was no overdramatization. It was precisely that simplicity that made it all feel more real. Social media immediately exploded. Within minutes, clips of the video began spreading across platforms. Comments poured in. Some were moved, some shocked, and still others were trying to grasp every word with rapt attention. Longtime fans felt a powerful sense of nostalgia. They recalled early moments, small interactions that once sparked conversation, and a long, winding journey. That night seemed to bridge the gap between past and present. But not everyone saw it the same way. Some began to speculate. Was this simply a form of professional reflection? Or was there another meaning hidden behind those words? Question after question emerged, prolonging the never-ending discussion. Some believed it was a sign of maturity, that both were now at a point where they could look at the past more calmly, without pressure, without burden. An elegant form of closure, perhaps. But on the other hand, others saw it as a new beginning, a subtle signal that not all stories truly end. That perhaps, just perhaps, there's another chapter yet to be written. Their body language became the subject of its own analysis. The way they stood, the way they looked at each other, even the pauses between words were considered to hold hidden meaning. Every detail was observed, analyzed, and interpreted from various perspectives. The entertainment industry is no stranger to moments like this. But rarely is a brief interaction capable of creating such a profound impact. There was something different, something that couldn't be engineered. Perhaps it was the honesty, or perhaps it was the perfect timing. Or perhaps it was because a relationship that had previously only been speculated about was finally being shed some light, allowing it to be seen more clearly. As time passed, snippets of the video continued to replay. Many tried to read between the lines, searching for clues, searching for meaning. And the more they searched, the deeper their curiosity grew. Several theories began to emerge. Some said it was a tribute to the past. Others believed it was an implicit message to fans. And still others chose to simply enjoy the moment without trying to interpret it too deeply. But one thing is certain. That night left its mark. Not only on those present in person, but also on the millions who witnessed it from afar. A simple moment, yet with extraordinary impact. Now the question remains, was this truly the end? Or was it the beginning of something new? There's no definitive answer. And perhaps that's precisely where the beauty lies. Because sometimes not everything needs to be explained. Not every emotion needs to be translated. Some moments are simply felt, cherished, and remembered as part of a journey that will never truly be forgotten. As time passes, the echo of that moment doesn't fade. Instead, it expands, reaching those who may not have previously followed the couple's journey closely. Curiosity turns to interest, and that interest develops into a lively conversation that continues to thrive in various digital spaces. Many are starting to retrace their steps. Old interviews are replayed, old video clips are brought back to life, and every little interaction from the past is now seen with a new perspective. It's as if all the clues were there from the beginning, only now they feel relevant. Amidst all this, a sense of warmth emerged that was hard to explain. It wasn't just about the two individuals, but about the long journey they'd shared with their fans. A connection forged not only through their work, but also through their memorable moments. But of course, not all reactions were filled with positive emotions. There were also skeptics who questioned whether this was all being overblown. They saw it as part of the dynamics of the entertainment industry, which is often rife with overinterpretation. Even so, it was hard to deny that there was something authentic about this moment, something that couldn't be fully explained by strategy or image. And precisely because of that, the conversation persisted longer than expected. Some fans chose to see it as a gift, a rare, unplanned, yet deeply meaningful moment. They didn't seek definitive answers, didn't try to force meaning, but simply enjoyed what had been given. On the other hand, others remained hopeful. A hope that might be small, perhaps vague, but still there. Hope for the possibility of a reunion, a collaboration, or simply a more open interaction in the future. Meanwhile, the two figures returned to their respective activities. Busy schedules, new projects, and ever-changing professional lives. But the shadow of that moment lingers, becoming part of a narrative that can't be erased. And perhaps, ultimately, that's what makes it so memorable. Not because of the answers provided, but because of the questions left behind. A small mystery that will live on in memory, connecting the past, the present, and the possibility of a future still unsolved. Time passes, but conversations about that moment refuse to fade. Every time someone talks about it, a new perspective emerges, as if this story has endless layers to uncover. And that's precisely where its allure grows stronger. Some are beginning to realize that perhaps it's not the content of the confession that matters most, but the courage to say it publicly. In a world often filled with restrictions and caution, even the smallest bit of honesty can feel so profound and meaningful. Others see it as a reminder that human relationships, in any form, are never as simple as they appear. There are stories, there are emotions, and there are journeys that can't always be explained in words. And that night seemed like a small window into a piece of that. Devoted fans still cherish that moment as something special. Not to be endlessly debated, but to be remembered as proof that something genuine happened, even if only for a fleeting moment. Beneath all the speculation and theories, perhaps there's one thing that's the simplest yet most powerful, that a real connection, in any form, will always find a way to be felt, even without the need for explicit explanation. And when the spotlight finally fades, what's left isn't just the memory of what was said, but how it felt. A fleeting moment, yet enough to leave a lasting imprint on the hearts of many.